Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Great Men Taking Over the World. I'm Red, and this whole week has been a bit of a historic moment for us Shenmue fans. We finally got Shenmue 1 and 2 in HD on the modern systems, something we've always wanted and Sega has finally listened to us. This is so awesome. Just to let you guys know, I'm not going to be doing an in-depth review of the games themselves. Me and the Great Men already did an in-depth review of the original game. Be sure to check that shit out now, okay? Or soon, or whenever, alright? Check it out. Part 2, we're going to get to that soon enough, so don't you worry, alright? So this is going to be more of an overview of the collection itself and how it compares to the originals and what has been updated and changed. Be sure to hit the subscription button if you guys haven't done so yet. Also hit that notification bell, that way you'll never miss an episode. And without further ado, let's get sweaty. Let me begin by saying thank you to everyone in the Shenmue community, because this re-release wouldn't even exist without everyone's passion for the series. Like I mentioned in the unboxing video, Sega wasn't even planning on re-releasing it, as the games didn't sell that great when they first came out. The reason this came out is because the community stuck together through all these years and showed Sega that people really love Shenmue and that we want more of it. And that's especially true with how Shenmue 3 came to be, but that's a whole nother story. I remember people speculating about 1 and 2 if it would ever even be released. A lot of people thought it was just wishful thinking, that Sega would never do this. But the fact that Shenmue 3 was announced, it just seemed that much more likely that this would come out. This is just freaking awesome, yes! And it just shows the power of the community. I mean, this is Sega's most requested re-release of all time. This is like a historical moment in gaming. It's so weird seeing this game come out on modern systems now.
I'm a blast from the past!
As a reminder guys, this isn't a review of the games themselves, but as the re-release as a whole, and how and what is updated or changed, and how well it was remastered overall. Obviously this collection includes the revered Shenmue 1 and 2 on one disc on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, if you do get the physical copy. You can also download the digital copies on both of these systems, as well as on the PC via Steam.
Yo, may I help you?
The most noticeable improvement over the originals are the graphics. Let me be clear, this is not a remake like Shadow of the Colossus on PlayStation 4, or the Crash Insane Trilogy, or even the new Spyro the Dragon Trilogy coming out in a few months. A lot of people are calling this a port, but I'm going to be calling it a remaster, because that's what it is. Okay, semantics aside, the graphics are now finally in HD and 1080p. Unfortunately, no 4K. The game now looks beautiful, clean, and razor sharp. No more ugly jaggies. I know you could run these games in HD through emulation on PC, but I never did that. I guess I always thought Shenmue was a console experience, plus the emulation videos I always saw were weird where you could see through Ryo's head, like, what the fuck? Oh dear god! Ah, kill it! Kill it now! I got a VGA box a while back, and man did that make my Dreamcast games look great on HD TVs. Not actual HD, but really damn good regardless. I never got to play Shenmue 2 through VGA, so seeing it now in all its HD glory really warms my heart. Ah, good.
Ah, good.
I guess the possible downside to how clean and sharp it looks is that it really brings out the low quality textures, where some objects look really blocky and blurry. And some NPCs just look downright frightening. But this doesn't really bother me much, except for the occasional nightmare, of course. It's just a heads up for people who might expect the full remake. What I love is that the game is now in 16:9 widescreen. Oh yeah! Not artificially stretched, but you can now see beyond what you normally could in the original versions, where there would normally be black bars on the left and right. This is really cool, but it's a little jarring to me sometimes, only because I'm just so used to seeing it the old way, and now I can see so much more. It feels like
a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew.
If you're a purist of the game, you can still play it in the traditional 4:3 format. You can even turn the HD rendering off and have the jaggies if you want to simulate the original. I mean, I wouldn't really care to do that myself, but it's cool that it's there, right? Oh yeah, just to mention guys, the major cutscenes are still only in 4x3. I don't know if it was a technical thing or not, but I think it was to preserve the cinematic look of the cutscenes without adding anything unnecessary to the actual shot. But it's kinda weird in Shenmue 2 because the cutscenes are also still in 4x3, even though they try to emulate a cinematic look by adding black bars to the top and the bottom, making it actually closer to a widescreen format, yet they didn't decide to just zoom the image in to fill the screen. I mean, this looks fine on an old CRTV, but just looks kinda weird on HD TVs as it's not anamorphic and it's just surrounded by a black box.
Just a box.
I guess maybe the resolution might take a hit if they just zoomed it in, but I feel like they could do something else about it. There's an option to have the bloom effect like that of Shenmue 2 on Xbox, but now you can do it for both games on here. Turning this effect on gives the game a warm, glowy look. This is pretty cool to have this option. I usually just play without it, although I sometimes turn it on during the nighttime parts, as the night lights give a calm, glowy atmosphere. Like when I'm wandering in Sakuragaoka and you see all the house lights with the amazing background music playing, it really gives a wonderfully peaceful and cozy feeling here. I love it so much. Hot damn, that's good nostalgia! The main playing screen of Shenmue 1 now looks like Shenmue 2 with the 4 buttons displayed in the bottom right corner. You can adjust the size of the display area of this. The overall user interface and menus are cleaned up and look really nice in HD now. The menus are better organized and even show you the silhouette of missing capsules that you still have to get. That's pretty cool. The watch has been moved up to the top right corner of the screen. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the licenses for some of the in-game products have expired, so no more Timex on Ryo's watch and alarm clock unfortunately. No Coca-Cola for all audiences, even though we never actually saw this in the North American release anyway. It's always been Jet Cola here, so that's not really a loss to me.
Ah, good.
Since I have the PlayStation 4 version, it's kind of weird seeing the X and circle buttons showing up for the QTE button prompts instead of the classic A and B like on the originals. So I actually think it might look maybe possibly better on the Xbox version because it looks a little bit more authentic that way. But that's just me nitpicking, it's really not a big deal. The controls have been modified a little bit to feel somewhat more modern, even though the general feel of the controls really do show their age. You can now move Ryo with not just the D-pad, but with the left analog stick, which is just so much freaking better. What's even better is you can now control the camera with the right analog stick to avoid that awkward arrangement from the Dreamcast, where the D-pad is right under the control stick. When you look around in first-person mode, you can now turn all the way around. This feels much more freeing while you explore your environment. You can now save anywhere you want in Shenmue 1, just like you could in Shenmue 2. This is an incredibly welcoming addition as it was just so damn tedious in the original, having to go all the way back home just to save, and you'd have to go through several areas and be held hostage by the load times, which in this game are super freaking fast. Wow, that Dreamcast one's still going, huh? I guess I can go grab a cola in real life, shit.
Ryo-san, you're home.
You can get to your house from Dobawita so quickly now, and going back and forth through shops isn't as much of a chore as it was before. Holy shit, man, you can burn through locations like nobody's business. The only small criticism I have about this is that it sometimes can feel a little bit too quick and not even give you a proper chance to read the load screen, as us fans view those load screens as somewhat iconic and give the game a better transition between the areas, as the music in the next area would slowly kick in before actually seeing the next area. Like, it's a little jarring sometimes how you go from a fight sequence and then the next sequence kicks in and the music in the scene just doesn't transition as smoothly. In my opinion, I would like the load screen to be, I don't know, maybe just 2 seconds longer, just to transition better. An option to choose this would be awesome, but I really doubt that's gonna happen. Anyway, it's a small complaint and I'm still just really freaking happy how fast the areas load. I mean, it's just great. And so this game now features trophy support, and it's just really cool to see Shenmue presented and now accepted in such a modern way. Man, this is cool.
This is cool.
You can also now transfer your data like capsules and moves and all that stuff from Shenmue 1 to 2, which I've actually never been able to do until now. This is awesome. I'm so happy this game includes both the Japanese and the original voiceovers, as I played the first game in English and that's exactly how I remember it and have all the nostalgia for it. And to play it in Japanese will only give it a new, fresh, and possibly more authentic experience. So I can't wait to play it that way too. And part 2 I played solely on the Dreamcast with Japanese voices and English subtitles, and that's how I remember it, and that's how I have the nostalgia for that game. So to play it in English voices would be a whole new experience as well. If part 2 only had English voices, I'd be a sad panda. And being able to choose between English and Japanese voices is one of my favorite options of this collection for sure. It's also super weird playing these games without hearing the constant disc reading screeching from the Dreamcast. I'm like, it's so quiet during cutscenes now, wow. I know some people are gonna miss it though, I don't know if I do yet.
You want some pigeon food?
So one complaint I have is the overall sound quality doesn't seem quite remastered, and it just doesn't match the video quality. This is particularly noticeable during dialogue scenes, and it just sounds really old and compressed, like what the hell.
Do you know any place where sailors hang out? Sailors? Yeah, I do! They hang out at bars!
Okay, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room are the very present bugs in this re-release. I would be lying to you guys if I said this remaster was perfect, because right now it certainly is not. Sega released this too early without weeding out very obvious bugs that surprised me on how they even let this be released this way. I know, everyone says Sega knows about them and are working on it, but seriously though, what the fuck? I don't want to off-put newcomers or people on the fence about getting this collection, as I know Sega will fix these bugs soon enough, but as it is, it's really dumb how such blatant glitches exist. I'm sure it'll be fine soon, but as of now, how it was released, it just looks kinda bad. Like when Ryo leaves the room for the first time to talk to Ine-san, the camera got stuck on his chest of drawers while you can hear them talk and the music plays in the background. You miss the entire scene. What the hell? And then a few minutes later I go and look at the carrots on the table to trigger that flashback that he has with his father, and the same thing happens there too. Oh bloody hell. Then there are smaller bugs like no sound effects when you select a decision, opening doors, footsteps, dodging while in practice mode, although you can hear it in actual battles, throwing darts, and many more.
Yeah.
From what I've played, the QTE buttons don't even blink in Shenmue 1 like they're supposed to, but they do in Shenmue 2. Also, another annoying one is when I have the bloom effect selected off, the game will turn it back automatically every time I open the journal. Jeez Louise! Get on this shit, Sega! Like ASAP, dude! But once these bugs are fixed, this collection will be amazing, I'm sure of it. It's just a weird state of affairs that this is becoming more usual, that games are released incomplete and unpolished. Maybe not always to this extent, yeah, but games are being released earlier than ready, and with the expectation that it will be fixed later. This is so dumb. I mean, come on, give us finished products, give us what we're paying for.
Especially since you bought merchandise.
So with all that being said, I give this collection as it is an 8 out of 10. An 8 only because of the bugs at the state of me playing and reviewing this, which is just within the first few days of release. Once they fix these though, this will be a 10 out of 10 easily, as these beautifully immersive, legendary games deserve as much love and attention as possible. Wow! Has it really been almost 20 years since these two games came out? This collection is not just for fans of the series like me, who want to see it in HD and support all things Shenmue, but to newcomers who never had the chance to experience one of the most magical and brilliant video game experiences ever made. This series never really had a chance to shine to anyone but the dedicated Shenmue community. Now that it's back again, we wish for everyone to try it and would really hope that Sega fixes it soon so that we can all have the best possible Shenmue experience ever. This collection has been selling really well so far, and it just makes me so happy to see Shenmue getting so much more attention that it deserves. It's so weird to see Shenmue publicly relevant again. It would be really cool if they added this collection to the Nintendo Switch as well to gain even more exposure, plus playing Shenmue on the go would just be so amazing onto itself. We already did a massive 2-parter review for Shenmue 1. Go check that shit out now if you haven't yet. And if you have, then hell, just go watch it again because it's freaking awesome. And so me and the other great men will do an epic Shenmue 2 episode later on. Don't you worry. Have patience with us, guys. It will be totally worth it, I promise. I just want to take my time with it to make sure it's as good as possible, because it being one of my favorite games of all time, I think it damn well deserves it. It's pretty awesome that we also got a new trailer to Shenmue 3 the same day as this came out. The game is looking very pretty and seems to emulate the magical essence of Shenmue pretty damn well. Just fix those dead-eyed faces, please guys, for the love of God. Put some bloody life into them. All in all, I do recommend you guys grab a copy of this collection. If not now, then later when they do patch it. You get 2 incredible games for $30, which is a steal in my opinion. I mean, let's all celebrate the fact that Shenmue is finally back, and let's support it as much as possible, guys. Now we can finally look for Lan Di in HD, hell yeah! It's such a good time for Shenmue fans, indeed. So guys, thanks for joining me on another episode where I took a look at this new HD re-release of Shenmue 1 and 2. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but generally it's really cool. Especially once they fix the bugs, it'll be really awesome and I won't be able to recommend it enough. Let me know what you guys think of Shenmue 1 and 2. Is it something that you're gonna get? Are you on the fence on it? Are you gonna wait till the bugs are fixed? Or just let me know about anything you think about it. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Share this with your friends, with anybody you think that might like it. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. Hit that notification bell, that way you'll never miss an episode. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram where we post new content daily. And until the next episode, guys, see you later, bro!
And thus the saga begins.
It's been of a historic moment for us Shenmue fucking fans. To another episode of... Why did I do that? And this week has been a bit of a historic moment in gaming for our Shenmue fans. Shenmue 1 and 2, an in-depth review this collection in general and how it holds up against the older versions. And I don't know what to say after that. I only got Shenmue 1 and 2 in HD on the modern systems, and here I got my copy, and who cares? Greatman already did an epic episode of the part of the